Ooh, what's up, Internet? My name's David Webb.
I'm Arielle Edwards.
We get nerdy nightly.
And we thought we'd share it with you.
That is right. We're back for another edition of the Nightly Morning Show, this time coming to you live on Tuesday, November 10th, 2020. Why is this a big day?
It's a momentous day.
Yeah.
It is a day for the history books, y'all.
Yeah, I hope so.
Our history books.
Today is a big day because the Xbox Series X launches today. If you were able to get one of those sweet, sweet pre-orders, well, depending on who you pre-ordered it from, you might be currently playing your Xbox Series X, or you might have gotten it early. The team behind Xbox was very classy and heard that people were actually getting their pre-orders a day or two early, just because of,
Shipping?
Just shipping. I think right now, with everything going on in the world, the shipping companies wanted to make sure that these got to places on time.
Totally.
And so they pushed, and the push got it there a little early.
Yeah.
And Microsoft and the Xbox team decided to say, hey, if you already have it, turn it on, play your games. We're not going to make you wait until launch day.
Yeah.
Have fun with it. We're just so grateful that you bought an Xbox when you really didn't have a reason to.
Yeah, well, okay, that's what it is. Oh my god. So, yeah, you might have gotten it today. You might have gotten it a little bit early. Or you might not get it until December 31st. Because...
Are we jumping right into the news?
Hey.
We're not doing... There's no bandwidth at the top. We're going new...
We're hitting
oh my god.
the
God.
pavement running.
We're going right into the news. Y'all, Amazon... And we should preface by saying that we are very aware of the fact that the Nightly Morning Show, the morning show that we are currently doing, is streamed live on an Amazon product. So, to our... as John Oliver says on his show, to corporate daddy, we are talking about you now.
Yeah.
Amazon let some of their customers who pre-ordered the Xbox Series X and S know just 24 hours before launch day. So, literally yesterday, that not only were they not going to get their day one consoles on day one, their pre-ordered consoles, they were not going to get them on day 2 or day 3.
Or like week 3.
Or week 5. If you received that unfortunate email that Amazon ran out of stock without counting your pre-order, they promise that you will have one by December 31st. That is 6.5 weeks from now.
Yeah. Yeah. How mad would you be? Like...
Here's the thing, right? If I bought a $600 device...
Uh-huh.
If I survived that messy pre-order, and you told me, hey, we know it was supposed to get to you November 10th, but how does after Christmas sound? You won't even have it for Christmas.
Yeah.
It will come after,
It's not like a week late. It's not 2 weeks late.
And here's the thing. Here, and to Amazon's credit, no, there isn't much to give Amazon credit here. But...
But you're trying to be nice. I get it.
Amazon is a massive company that knows that this is a huge mess up. They know, right? And so I think that all of those Xbox pre-orders will be satisfied within 2 weeks. I don't care if Amazon has to break into the Xbox factory and build them themselves. Amazon is going to move hell or high water to fix this because this looks really bad.
Yeah.
This is especially because of how late the news came out. It looks really bad.
People found out yesterday. And that's the thing is, if it was me, if it was me, I'd be like, no, give me my money back. I'm buying it somewhere else. I don't care. I
100%.
would be furious.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they're going to save face in that. Maybe they aren't...
They're Amazon. They're so big it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, everyone's going to forget about this by the PlayStation 5 launch.
Yeah, they probably don't care. But I'm with Gillian here. I would ask for my money back. Yeah. I don't know if they are granting that. They can say no.
They are. Apparently, this is a rumor, but apparently they have offered some people $75 off. So they're giving a discount.
Okay.
I would take it. I'd be like, all right, yeah.
Okay.
You're not going to... Here's the other part of it. You're not going to be able to get it anywhere else. The thing is sold out.
Right.
And so, Hero of Wind in the chat is saying, is there any chance it's Microsoft's fault, who miscounted? I don't know.
We don't really have that information, and I'm sure no one really wants to make that public.
Yeah, and so it just becomes tough because, this is a big launch that is been hampered by so many shipping issues.
Yeah.
Microsoft UK has had shipping issues, and the Microsoft Canada has had shipping issues. The Canada one is actually people who are buying it directly from Microsoft.
Yeah, this is not third party.
Yeah, so the Xbox, the delays in Canada aren't as long. They moved from November 10th to November 11th because the shipment got stuck in Memphis for a day, and the UK. The conversation with Amazon UK service explained that some fulfillment centers have seen low stock, and so they're saying it could take an extra 48 hours to arrive.
Yeah.
That is unfortunate, timeline-wise, but it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, 1 or 2 days, it's one of those things where it sucks. Like, it really, really does, but at the same time, like, stuff happens.
Yeah.
And you can't, like, those things are just going to happen no matter how perfectly you plan.
Well, and shipping in COVID times is... and it's interesting, right? Because there isn't an option to get it in store. Like that, the option to get it in store doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Right? So you're stuck with getting it online and having it shipped to you, but because of COVID, shipping's all messed up. And so it's literally this two-pronged assault on this specific launch.
Yeah.
And, as we go into today and look at what's going on with the Xbox, do you think that we're going to see a similar situation with the PlayStation 5 on Friday?
Oh man, I hope not. I hope that they have that they have everything together. But I don't know. This does not give me faith. Like, they're both large companies. They're both capable companies. I think the PlayStation will have similar issues where maybe, like, a day or two because of certain things or whatever. PlayStation better not have issues where it's 6 weeks late.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, who knows what's going to happen, right? Because if this is purely just an international shipping issue because these devices are not made in the United States, they just aren't, then it could be a similar problem for PlayStation. And there honestly just might not be a way for the companies to get around that. Now, if the problem here is purely Amazon allowed people to pre-order devices that they knew that they weren't going to have the numbers for, that is a problem to me.
Yeah.
And that is fraud to me. Like, that's like...
Yeah, that's a really terrible thing to do.
Yeah.
And it's, it's not fair. It's not fair to people who probably spent a lot of time, a lot of thought, a lot of energy into trying to acquire this console because, like you said, it's sold out. You can't just walk into a store and buy this thing, and it's really unfair. It's really unfortunate, and I'm positive it ensures that those same people will not pre-order through Amazon ever again.
Oh, yeah, no.
They will go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because that trust is kind of broken.
Yeah, especially on something this big. Like, if it was a smaller item... like we had problems with the lights that we ordered, the 2 lights that light this morning show.
Yeah.
And with Amazon, and they were literally the only place we could get them right now because of COVID and everything.
Yeah.
And we had problems with it, but they weren't the biggest purchases in the world, and so at the end of the day, we're not like freaking out about it. It's just not worth freaking out about.
Yeah.
Whereas something like if my Xbox didn't come on launch day and I'd been waiting like months for it, you know what I mean? Because that pre-order went live, like 5-6 weeks ago?
Oh, yeah. It's been a while.
So if I had been waiting, like if this was like the thing, and I was like, I'm going to get I'm going to get my Xbox Series X, and I'm going to get Valhalla on the same day, I'd be pretty pissed.
Yeah. Yeah, I would be very upset.
Especially if I already paid, if I had Valhalla for the Xbox, and I couldn't play that today, I'm so lucky I can just pop it into my PC.
Yeah. I think that this is a major screw up on Amazon's part.
100%.
I hope that they're doing everything they can to fix it. Like you said, get it within a week or two if possible. But chances are that may not be possible.
Yeah, I feel really bad for the person who gets their Xbox on December 31st.
Yeah, and hopefully that is not the case. Hopefully they can make it right. But I don't know. I don't know how these things work, and I just...
Hero in the chat says, I'm getting flashbacks to when I ordered toilet paper at the beginning of the pandemic, and it was supposed to arrive the next day. We still haven't gotten it.
What?
It's been 7 months.
How? It's lost. It's lost in the ether. Like, there's no way.
Panfranudo asked an interesting question. He says, Amazon may be taking a hit, but can console gaming also be taking a hit in general as well? And Fred, to that, I say yes and no. I think that Xbox is no longer a console. I've said it on the show a lot.
Yeah.
The Xbox is not a console. It is a gaming PC that doesn't do any PC things. It's only got games that you can play on PC now. There are no Xbox exclusives. There's no Xbox games anymore. There are Microsoft games.
Yeah.
And you can play them on the $600 desktop PC machine that is the Xbox Series X. Yeah. But seriously, if you're not going to have any exclusive games for it, and you're going to use the Xbox controller, which is the best controller to hook up to your PC, you're literally just creating it's basically just a console. Or it's basically just a gaming PC.
Yeah.
At this point.
So what qualifies a console then?
A console to me is
games?
a dedicated is a console that is dedicated and made for the games that are made for that console, right? Mm-hmm. In N64, the difference between N64 and the Sony PlayStation were you play Nintendo games on the N64 and you play Sony games on the PlayStation. As soon as you take away the fact that those games are made for that console, it's not a console anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, it's killing. The Xbox is no longer a console. It's now a mini fridge PC. Even Rockman says it does some PC things too. I use it to watch movies and stream shows. You've taken everything about it that was a gaming console out.
Yeah.
By making the games available everywhere. And so
yeah, I know. Here's the thing. I totally agree with you. I just wanted to know, in your mind, what was the definition of a console? And I back you up there.
The PS5 is still a console to me because there are going to be gaming experiences that you can only have on the PS5.
Totally.
There is not any gaming experience that you can only have on the Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
Now, here's what I will say. If you have $600 and you want a gaming PC, the Xbox Series X is the best option.
Yeah.
Seriously, no, it is. You cannot buy the quality of hardware that is in the Xbox Series X for $600 and a PC.
No, for sure.
You genuinely cannot. The thing is, and we've been talking negatively about the Xbox Series X launch because of the delays, but let's get into the upsides of this. This console is so fast that older games like The Witcher 3 bug out at loading screens because the console loads the game faster than the game's it loads the next level faster than
the game can comprehend.
Yeah, and the game literally is trying to load its loading screen, but it doesn't have enough time to finish loading its loading screen. Yeah,
before you're in the next area.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And you cannot get a PC that does that for $600.
Totally. My only argument would be, here's the thing: if you can only have one computer in your house, and you need it for other stuff like work related, Word or email, if that were the case, then obviously your Xbox is not going to be able to do those kinds of things. Yeah. But yeah, if say your phone or you have a laptop that does that other stuff. That you need it for, and you want to play games, an Xbox is probably going to be your cheapest option. Yeah, because look, the truth is, at the end of the day, the Xbox is nuts. Yeah, the hardware is great. They they really decked this thing out, and kudos to them for that. It to me, it literally just comes down to the fact that there is no reason. Rockmage says it's tough to type a term paper with a controller. Yeah. That sounds a nightmare. You can do it, but it's going to take a while. Can you imagine trying to type in VR with the pointing and just I wonder if you could get really good at just being capital S, 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 S. Oh God, that sounds like a nightmare to me, I'm not going to lie.
Panfrenudo says, however, doesn't the longevity of a good gaming PC outweigh that? A new console comes out for an upgrade to that comes very often, whereas upgrade PC doesn't happen nearly as often anymore these days.
Well, and the other thing about a PC as well is you can upgrade parts of it at a time, which is very convenient. So, yeah, I can completely understand your point there. You know, if you are able to instead spend a little bit more on building a PC, in the long run, it will most likely save you money instead of buying new consoles every time, just switching out the graphics card or putting more memory or things like that.
100%. I'm just saying
the
that
upfront cost.
The upfront cost, you're not going to have a teraflop in a $600 PC.
No.
You're not going to have a teraflop of anything in a $600 PC. You're just not. And the Xbox Series S has that. It does. And the thing is impressive as hell. It's just tough for me to figure out who it's for. Yeah. Like, it's for someone who... It's kind of for Mac users. If you are someone who edits on a Mac like me, and you don't have a PC in your house, and you do not need to do any of the normal computer stuff...
Yeah, you do, and you don't want to
spend $1,500. The Xbox Series X is the perfect gaming computer for you.
You know what? That's fair. And if you don't want to play any PlayStation games.
Yeah, truly. Even just small things like the mouse, keyboard, headphones. Yeah, HeroGwen is making a comment about peripherals for PC gaming are so expensive.
It's not just the tower and the stuff inside of it. It's also the monitors. You need the mouse. You need the keyboard. You most likely need speakers.
Yeah.
You know, and so that cost adds up. You know, you're looking at spending $1,500 minimum on you know what? For the specs that are in the Xbox, definitely more than that.
Yeah.
For what's in it, as opposed to the $600 for the Xbox.
Yeah. And, you know, people ask us all the time, like, we have people who want to get into streaming. And they're like, all right, so what do I need to start streaming? And my first question is always, what do you have, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, like, I've got a laptop. And I'm like, all right, well, you can stream off of a laptop. It's just hard. It's
Well, here's the thing. If you're on a laptop, you then need a console.
Or just play low-res games.
I mean...
You know, like...
Nothing that requires any kind of graphics.
Right,
Depending on your laptop. You know, maybe you have a gaming laptop. That's totally fair.
But, you know, like, for our streaming rig, we have the camera, we have for the actual gaming streaming, we have the camera, we have 2 ring lights,
2 monitors,
tripods, microphones, audio interface, 2 monitors, controllers, keyboards, headphones, like the amount of things that it takes to do this, just the physical things is nuts.
Yeah.
It's really nuts.
Yeah.
But you know, we love it, and so we're fully invested in that.
Yeah.
To need all of this to just play a video game is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Whereas the console, you need a television, you need a controller, and the television actually might be... Sorry, but
okay.
But to kind of change topics here just a little bit, the television might be the hardest part about this. Because if we were to buy... We're going to buy a PS5. I know we're going to buy a PS5. Mm-hmm. I'm also very aware of the fact that the television that we have in the apartment right now is going to look like crap.
Yeah.
It's not a good TV. It doesn't have a high enough refresh rate. And so the first bit... And I have a nice TV in New York that's in a storage unit right now that I have to go get. And hopefully it's in good shape still. It's been in a storage unit for a year.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to be playing PS5 games on a bad TV. And I'm going to hope that it looks okay.
Yeah. Maybe we can plug the PlayStation into the gaming monitor instead.
Right. Just
because,
that is an option.
Yeah, the TV, it's great. It's, you know, good size, but, like, you know, it's definitely not top quality by any means.
It doesn't have the refresh rate.
You know, and that's gonna make a difference.
Yeah.
For sure. But it is what it is. You know, we're gonna make it work, and
absolutely we are. Are you kidding me? Miles Morales, y'all, that trailer yesterday, I'm still hyped. I'm still excited. I'm feeling it. I'm over here dancing. Yeah. Pevernito, I haven't bought a PS5 yet because I don't have a 4K TV to push the full capacity. My PS4 can, so what I need to do it for now. Here's the thing. We don't have a PS4. And so I'm of the mind of right now where I'm like, why spend like $250 on a PS4 and then $500 on PS5 next year?
Later, yeah. We're just going to get the PS5. The other thing for me personally, 4K doesn't matter.
Yeah, refresh rate matters to me.
Yeah, like the 4K, like maybe I'm just a noob, but like my eyes don't like see much of a difference. You know, when I'm looking at stuff side by side, you know, when you go to Costco and you walk through the TV aisle,
I know.
I'm like, this is 4K and this is like, you know, 1080 or 1440, whatever it is, and I'm like, yeah, they kind of just look the same to me.
Yeah, for me it's all about refresh rate now.
Yeah.
Now that I've started to like pay attention to that stuff, and now that I'm gaming on a PC a lot, and I'm not stuck at, because I was a console gamer for a long time. I've never had a gaming PC since I was a kid, and so I was always just kind of stuck at whatever the console could put out.
Yeah.
And now that I'm playing around with settings, you know, playing Witcher 3 on the Nintendo Switch, and then switching over to a console and playing with ultra graphics and like everything, because RPC can run it maxed out on everything.
Yeah, RPC is pretty stacked.
It's such a difference, and like now that refresh rate matters so much to me.
Yeah.
And so much so that like it's the one complaint I have about the iPhone is that I don't have a higher refresh rate on it.
I have that 120.
I
but
know,
it's fine.
I know, but also like you don't have any of the things I like. Except for you. I like you.
Yeah, you better.
You worked at Best Buy's home theater department, so I've trained my eyes to be HD snobs. That makes sense, Fred. That's your job.
And that's the thing, is when you are, when you have the time and you can really, like, notice those differences, yeah, you get used to it, and I totally understand that. But for me, as someone who just, like, doesn't, like, I have no reason to really, like, put the time into, like, training my eyes to spot the differences. I don't really want to, you know. I'm perfectly happy to buy the cheaper TV because it looks just as good to me.
Yeah, honestly, I'm the difference between 1440 and 4K to me doesn't matter so much. I don't need a 4K television. I don't. I do need a 4K. I do need a television that has like very high refresh rate and very low response time.
Yeah.
Those are the two things. If I'm gonna game on it, I can turn off 4K. I cannot have that like visual lag between my controller and the television. I can't do it.
Yeah, when we were shopping for a monitor, it was like David was like, yeah, it has to be like, I think it's like 1 millisecond.
Yeah. I can't do the 4
response.
millisecond. I need the 1 millisecond.
Like, nope.
It kills me. Hero of Wind in the chat says, I actually find some new TV shows look too real. It makes me feel uncomfortable. Miller, I would check to make sure that you don't have digital smoothing on, which is a feature that live television puts on because it, in order to make sports look good. Legitimately.
Oh, interesting.
There are settings in your television that are there to make HD look good for big action things like sports. The problem with the digital smoothing is it makes television shows and movies look bad. It just makes them look bad, like truly bad. So if you are having that problem where things look like they're like almost soap opera-y, but it's a high quality movie, I would check your television settings and make sure that you have that turned off. It is literally it's on by default in a lot of televisions now because of like the prevalence of sports and the importance of sports to live TV. But it absolutely kills television shows and movies, and it's really it ruins the experience for me.
Yeah.
It's awful. I hate it. It should not be on by default. It should be something that you turn on.
Yeah.
Whatever.
What? So, do you remember when The Hobbit was released in theaters?
I do. Yes.
They filmed in 4K, right? That was the big. There was a big thing about it.
They filmed in they filmed in a higher. Oh my God, what is the word? Shutter speed.
Okay.
So there were more. There were
more frames.
Frames per second.
Per second. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And so they filmed in 48 frames per second. So there's
That's
less.
What it was. That's what it was. I hated it.
You did?
Well, when I saw it in theaters, I thought it looked so weird. It actually really put me off. And like, yeah, I couldn't remember exactly what it was, but that makes sense now.
It is interesting, right? Because watching a film in 60 frames per second would be awful, Rebel.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't actually know if you can watch it. You would have to speed something up because there aren't any films that I'm aware of that actually film in 60 frames per second.
Not that I know of.
But that's actually faster than your eye takes in images.
Yeah, well, and that's why, like, it's jarring. Like, you can't...
What's really interesting about
it.
the 60 frames per second thing and our obsession with it is that your eyes do not capture light in 60 frames per second. And so it's actually faster than 120 frames, 256 frames, all of that stuff. Your eyes can't register a difference, legitimately. What it does is a different effect in your brain where you stop noticing the speed at which your eyes are watching things, which sounds insane.
Yeah.
But so when The Hobbit came out in 48 frames per second, it broke... A lot of people became uncomfortable with it because it breaks the uncanny valley, which is the space where the more and more real something gets, the more uncomfortable it is for a moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
It happened with that movie, The Adventures of Tintin, that Steven Spielberg made. And if you put something too smooth, especially with real images, with cartoon images like a video game or anime or something like that, it's not as jarring. But with real images, your brain stops understanding that you're watching a movie, and it literally it can be uncomfortable. It makes you just... It doesn't make you sick. You don't get like jarred that way.
No.
It just makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I saw Hobbit in 48 frames per second, and I loved it.
Oh, I did not like it. It was very
it.
strange to me. I did not enjoy it. It just looked weird. It looked wrong. It looked wrong to me, and I couldn't get past that. Dill Pickle, though, was saying I like OLED TVs, and here's the thing with OLED is the color, and that is one thing that I do notice. I do notice a difference with an OLED TV, because that color vibrancy and like the deepness of like the blacks and things like that. That is something that my eye does notice, just not really the definition, the 4K.
I would love an OLED TV mostly for the blacks.
Thin. Yeah.
Like that deep black is so nice, especially when you're watching widescreen films that have the black bars at the top and bottom of the screen. Because on an OLED there's no light bleed into the image.
Yeah.
And I love that. We don't have an OLED TV, but we will.
One day.
We will.
One day.
We'll have an OLED 4K for for that PS5. Miles
Speaking
Morales.
my language.
Miles.
I love that.
All right, we've been talking about this for half the show. Should we move on to the other news? Because there is other news.
Most likely.
Y'all, we want to do a quick update to our story yesterday. So we talked about the Fantastic Beasts movie yesterday.
We did.
And we talked about the fact that Johnny Depp has exited the movie. But we have learned new news since then.
New news!
The first thing is that apparently this movie is currently in production.
Yeah, which actually we didn't know. And I'm kind of shocked because David is really on top of this kind of thing. Like, And I'm like, I wonder if they tried to keep it under wraps, but I feel like... Because here's the thing, I feel like if it was like public knowledge that they were filming, you would know about it because it's Fantastic Beasts and people would want to know.
Yeah, I think there's also just so much news about things filming right now, and it's all like the Batman has taken up so much of the airspace of that.
Right. There's too much.
Like, honestly, here's the thing: we're not hearing about the filming that's going well, right? We're hearing about the filming that isn't going well.
True.
We're hearing about Witcher getting COVID positives, Batman getting COVID positives, but like there are other films that Shang-Chi kind of just like happened. Uncharted ended, and I didn't know until Spider-Man started. You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that. And so it is interesting that Fantastic Beasts is filming. Johnny Depp who was formerly playing Gellert Grindelwald in the movie, filmed a single scene.
Yeah, and still made his full salary.
Was asked to leave because of what we talked about yesterday, and is getting paid 8 figures. He is getting paid north of $10 million for one scene that will not be in the movie. Wow.
Oh, man. Wouldn't it be nice?
To be attached to the Fantastic Beasts franchise? No.
To make that much money. To get
$10 million?
Yeah, to get $10 million.
That's
what I mean.
For
doing one scene. We would buy an apartment.
Yeah, that's true.
With more than one room in it, so we could have a streaming room, and then the living room, and then the bedroom.
Warner Brothers ends up in a situation here where... So Johnny Depp signed a contract that was pay to play, or whatever it's called.
Pay to play.
And basically what the clause means is that he gets paid. Because his schedule, like he's busy, and if you're going to ask months of his life, you have to guarantee that he gets paid whether or not the movie gets made. So if the studio were to cancel the movie for any reason, he still gets paid.
I would put that clause in as well if I had the power. Big stars
always have this clause now, right?
Yeah.
So Johnny Depp had this clause where, like, no matter what happened, he gets his money. And what happened was Warner Brothers asked him to resign.
Yeah.
And so legally, based on his contract, he didn't violate anything in his contract. There wasn't a morality clause in his contract, which is sometimes how these companies get around these payments.
Totally.
They have to pay up. And so, when Fantastic Beasts 3 comes out and no one sees it, some people will see it.
Some people will see it.
But, it's going to be a movie that has a very weird life. $10 million of the dollars, at least $10 million of the dollars that Warner Brothers loses on that movie are going to be Johnny Depp's salary.
Pocket. Literally, like... And that's the thing, it's dumb, but I get it. If I was an actor, and
if I was an agent.
Yeah, that clause would be in there 100%. Yeah. Because, here's the thing, he didn't film it all, but he was still planning to. He had to plan his life, plan his time around that, and whatever you might think, Johnny Depp's time is worth a certain amount of money. Just because of who he is and what he has done, and that's how the industry works.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Warner Brothers is the one who determined that his time was worth that much money.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that is what they agreed to. And then they were the ones who pulled out of it. If he had pulled out of it unprompted, I don't know what would have happened. It would be different. But because they were like, please resign. And he was like, all right, but pay me. And they were like, fine, we just want to be done with you. Which is wild. This whole situation is wild.
It's still absurd, guys. I know we talked about it yesterday, and but it's truly like baffling to me.
Yeah, but what's baffling? The most baffling thing to me is that Twitter seems to be falling on Johnny Depp's side in all of this, which is strange. I don't understand. Like, and maybe I don't. I have not paid attention to the situation enough, but like, it just, It seems like such a personal thing between two people that shouldn't be public, but is public, and so people are choosing sides.
Yeah, and, he even said, like, he said that this whole thing has just been, it's been awful, like, talking about the most private things to you, to, like, a court and, like, an audience, basically, you know what I mean? And, like, I just can't imagine. Like you said, we haven't kept up enough to really know what's going on.
Yeah.
But I have seen just by skimming through that, like, they have evidence that she was trying to like frame him in a sense. Like, there are recordings.
Yeah, but who knows what any of it is.
Well,
you know
that's
what
the
I mean?
problem,
like,
is we don't know. Nobody was there except them, and we will never know exactly what happened or what's going on.
And
we just won't.
That's what's interesting to me, right? Is that this is a case that seems to exist almost solely in the public opinion. Truly, like, there isn't anything definitive on either side. It is it is which side of it do you want to believe, kind of, right now. And I don't know.
Twitter has picked their side.
Yeah, very clearly.
Twitter has spoken, y'all.
Yeah.
Okay, but real question. If you had $10 million, what would you spend it on?
I would get a PS5 and a 8K OLED television.
An 8K. You can't tell it's 8K, but it is. Just knowing.
They exist.
Oh, I know they
Linus
exist.
Tech Tips played video games on one, and he was like, "This is the greatest thing ever."
No, trust me, I know they exist.
What else would I do with $10 million? Dill Pickle would spend it on his family because he's a better man than I am.
That's very kind of you.
Dill, here's what I would do. I would invest $9 million into an account that... No. I would invest $5 million into an account that pays out, like, yearly. And then I would live off the whatever the gross of that $5 million is. I'd use the other $5 million to buy an apartment and live for... like that first year of waiting for the 9 million or the other 5, you know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing. The weird thing about having money is that once you have the money, as long as you're not dumb about it, you're fine. Because if you put $5 million into something, like, you can live off the payout of that. Like, you're kind of good.
Yeah.
We're going to interview
Orange Coon chipping in for the PS5 fun. Thank you, Orange.
Thank you, Orange.
Appreciate the biddies.
Orange also really likes my sweatshirt, and I appreciate that because I also really like it.
Your Super Nintendo sweatshirt?
Yeah.
That I made you buy?
You didn't make me buy it. You were like,
I was
you're gonna
pretty
like
insistent.
This. Yeah, but it didn't take much convincing. Let's be real. Let's be real.
Dark Dispatch would pay the nerdy crew on top of spending on family and publishing. Thank you, Dark. What would you spend $10 million on?
Honestly, yeah.
You know what I would do?
What?
I would fly us to New Zealand so that we could do the walk
We'll
from
do
Hobbit
the walk
into Mordor.
from Hobbit into Mordor.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And we would fly all our friends out to New Zealand and renew our vows in Hobbiton.
Oh, that would be fun.
That would be fun. That would be fun. I would do that. But I would do similarly to you. Like I would chuck that in an account where I would make money and kind of be set for life and do whatever I want with the rest.
Here's the thing, $10 million.
We're
Zerber, thank you for the biddies.
Thanks for the biddies as well. Welcome in.
I love that little bouncy unicorn face.
It's very cute.
Twitch has some good emotes, y'all.
Yeah, Twitch knows what they're doing.
Oh, no, I'm late. What's up, Muddles? Welcome in, everybody.
Muddles, you're fine. You're so good.
You're
Muddles.
so fine. Muddles, also, there is a letter in the mail for you.
There is a letter in the mail.
Officially in the mail.
It is on its way. So countdown starts now from how long it takes to get from here to there.
Yeah, countdown starts now.
We were just talking about what we would do with $10 million because
Yeah.
Johnny Depp got paid that much for filming a single scene of Fantastic Beasts before being asked to leave.
Yeah.
And it's not even going to be in the movie. So
here's the thing. To quickly go back to the Johnny Depp thing.
Yeah, 100%. That's the news.
I think that he might have won so hard here. Because Fantastic Beasts 3 is going to be the most controversial release of next year.
Probably.
It is. Maybe not, We're
like 90% sure.
There might be some stuff we haven't heard about yet.
Yeah, someone could screw up even worse.
But the idea that I might end up if I was an actor working on that movie, can you imagine what that press tour is going to be like? And Johnny Depp is going to get paid over $10 million and not have to do it. As far as like who wins in this situation,
it's Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp kind of comes out fine.
Oh yeah.
He disappears for a year with his $10 million, does whatever he wants, and comes back in some movie. You know what I mean? And the situation with the lawsuits and everything, it's so complicated, and there's so many parts to it, and it's such a he said, she said, that I honestly think 2 years from now, no one's going to care.
Yeah.
People are going to be like, these two actors had a bad marriage. It's none of our business. Let's all move on.
Yeah.
Being in Fantastic Beasts, however, they've got 3 more movies that they're contracted for.
Yeah.
Those actors are stuck in this thing, and he's out of it.
Yep.
And I there's a part of me that's kind of like, wow, Johnny Depp might have gotten the best part of this deal.
Honestly, no, I'm like... I would want out as well. Honestly, he came away winning in this situation.
I mean, honestly, if you had handed me the script page with the Dumbledore reveal at the end of the last movie, that's the moment I would have been like, yeah, I'm done.
I would have left.
I'm
I would
good.
have called my agent. I would have been
What?
like, I can't do this.
Wait, McGonagall is -8, but teaching at Hogwarts? That's odd. That's a weird decision.
Yeah. Somebody, yeah. They're, oh God.
She looks old for -8 years old.
Yeah. I can't believe. Oh, guys, we could talk about that for a very long time.
Change.org is trying to get him back in, saying they need 21,000 more signatures. There's a Change.org to get Depp back in the movies.
He is not coming back.
Johnny Depp is looking at that Change.org position and being like, guys,
stop.
I think I won here.
Yes.
Stop.
Just stop while you're ahead. Truly. No. Yeah, Mudda's not gonna happen.
Do you think that Johnny Depp walked into that meeting knowing he was getting fired, and Warner Brothers was like, "We need you to resign," and he's like, "Am I still getting paid?" And they're like, "Yes, unfortunately." And he's like, "Great, yeah, done. Out." They're
All
like,
right, see you later.
Wait, you don't want to argue this? He's like, "No,
I'm done."
no, I'm out. Thank you so much."
Female psychopath. Thank you so much for the 25 biddies.
I didn't even think about that till this moment, but it's
really. Oh no, that was the first thing that came to my head. Is I was like, oh, Johnny Depp is winning here.
Well, no, because I was like, you lost your job,
not a job I want to be involved in.
It looks bad. It looked bad yesterday to get asked to leave for this reason, right?
For sure.
But now that I'm thinking about the larger consequences of it for him and for the movie. And yeah, wow. Way to come out ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, he's...
Johnny Depp's playing those 300 IQ plays. And we're all just, like, trying to figure out what's going on.
True. He's a true mastermind.
Johnny Depp is literally in a position where Warner Brothers was like, hi, we would like to pay you $10 million to not be affiliated with J.K. Rowling right now. And Johnny Depp went, yes.
John, I'll take it. That's the dream right there.
That's the dream right there. Yeah. Wow.
All right. What else do we have?
Bloodshot 2.
Yeah.
Y'all, let's move on. Because, okay. If you have seen the movie Bloodshot that released this year, please let us know in the chat. I'm hoping that one person in the chat has seen this movie. Zerber, have you seen Bloodshot 1? Did anyone see the movie Bloodshot that came out this year?
Because we did not.
Because here's the thing. Is that the one with Vin Diesel?
Yes.
It is. Here's the thing. There is an incredible comic book called Bloodshot. It is the story of... he's basically... To explain it, he's essentially Wolverine, but instead of claws, he has guns, right? He has this incredible healing factor. He's traditionally portrayed as having, like, bleach white skin with this big red circle. He's a cool character. He's a fun comic book. Vin Diesel was cast as Bloodshot. They made the movie, and it's an interesting story, right? Because the movie had a $45 million budget, according to Box Office Mojo. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. It's Box Office Mojo. It might be approximate. But Bloodshot had a $45 million budget. The movie released on March 13th, 2020. Why is that significant?
Because everything shut down like a week later.
Yes. Bloodshot was officially in theaters for exactly 7 days. At which point, in the United States, it grossed a total of $12.5 million. Internationally, it grossed $20.9 million and had a worldwide gross of $33 million. That is less than $45 million, which is its budget before its advertising budget, right? Before it spent anything on advertising, it lost money. Mm-hmm. The other thing about that $33-ish million that it made is that half of that about goes towards the theaters that it was playing in. So this movie made $16 million ish on a $45 million budget before advertising, and they announced a sequel, and I don't understand 2020 anymore.
I'm confused. Was it a really good movie?
If you were to read the reviews, no.
Okay.
But people love it.
All right. Well, was it Zerber? Oh, yeah.
It wasn't that good.
Okay.
And here's what's truly baffling to me. So I had heard that the movie did really well on video on demand. Obviously, video on demand numbers are typically not released. It can be really hard to find accurate numbers on how much money something makes in video on demand, just because those services don't release their numbers the way that a movie studio does when the film's in theaters. Mm-hmm. The movie apparently did very well in video on demand, and so I think that the movie studio who made this thinks that they're going to that the interest was there. It was just COVID that stopped it, and so they just need to try again, right? The problem with that is that the video on demand numbers, COVID hit, and then the only new movies on video on demand were Bloodshot and Trolls World Tour. There wasn't any other options.
Yeah.
And when movie theaters were open, it only made $9 million opening weekend. Like, that's not a good opening weekend.
Yeah.
For that's a bad opening weekend.
Yeah.
So it's just this interesting situation where I'm like, I think that, like, they think that the interest is there.
But I'm like, guys.
And I'm sorry, but, like,
tell you this, but
we do a show called The Nightly Morning. We are a nerdy news show.
Yeah.
And the people watching our show, we have one person who's seen this movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
like, I
didn't think it was that good.
And didn't like it. I really wonder who they think that this movie's going to be for.
I don't know. That's really baffling to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it must have done exceptionally well. Like, it must have made a lot of money on video on demand. I don't know how. Like, it must have, like, crushed it for them to justify. I would love to know what those numbers are. I would really actually love to know. Because I'm like, what? Like, I don't... Yeah, that one is a bit of a mystery to me. It just, my only thought is that they must have made so much money on video on demand.
They must have, right?
Yeah, and that they think that they can make that much in theaters or just do that again.
Here's what's interesting about this news, though, right? Now that Bloodshot 2's been announced, because I knew I would watch Bloodshot eventually. There's not a superhero movie I haven't seen. Bloodshot might be the superhero movie I haven't seen. That and that Alec Baldwin movie from the 90s that I still need to watch called not The Spectre, anyway, not important to this exact moment, but there's a very short list of comic book movies that I haven't seen in my life. I want to watch Bloodshot now.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, oh, okay.
I need to know. Like what? Like I need. Like I have to know why you think making a second one is a good idea.
Yeah, because I listened to How Did This Get Made?
Yeah.
Was that a How Did This Get Made episode? I think it was a How Did This Get Made episode about Bloodshot. And, you know, if you don't know How Did This Get Made, they're a podcast where they not make fun of, but they tear apart and make fun of bad movies.
Yeah.
From a position of loving bad movies, which I do. I love bad movies. But it is really interesting that, like, this movie... Yeah, I'm just baffled. I'm really, really, really baffled by the choice to do this. And maybe they're just like, you know what, Vin Diesel can do it. You know what I mean? Orange Coon saying box office 37.3 million USD apparently. I have 33.4 Orange, but the budget was 45, so like they lost money on it.
Yeah.
Unless VOD was...
that's the thing.
Yeah.
VOD must have been so insanely successful. Yeah. And, you know, Female Psychopath is saying everyone was in lockdown and people watched a lot of stuff they wouldn't have normally. And that's kind of where my thought is. Like...
yeah, I don't know.
It didn't get good reviews, so what's going to incentivize people to go see the second one? I have no idea. I really don't know.
I was... You know, because, you know, I follow this stuff and I watch, like, some box office breakdown shows. And when this was happening and there were a lot of people watching this, there were a lot of online critics being like, yeah, Bloodshot is, like, the option for adults right now.
Yeah.
Or The Hunt was the other one, but that was super controversial because it was about, like, liberals hunting conservatives in the States. Yeah, it was, like, humans hunting humans, but the people being hunted were all, like, It was a great actors in it who I love, and a weird premise that I never watched it. Yeah. So, like, those were your three options. And of those three, like, if I had to choose between Trolls World Tour, Bloodshot, and The Hunt...
I'd pick Bloodshot.
I would pick Bloodshot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, you know, if I was in those first weeks of quarantine and didn't know what was going to happen, yeah, I probably would have watched it too. We were stuck on a boat.
That is true.
Laser Gunner says, all caps, Trolls World Tour BB. Laser Gunner, is Trolls World... Are we sleeping on Trolls World Tour, y'all? Is that a movie that we should check out?
I was not expecting that.
I was not expecting that all caps response. Yeah. No, definitely not.
Laser Gunner is trolling. The Trolls World Tour.
We're being trolled with trolls. But yeah, I don't really have much else to add other than we're probably going to watch Bloodshot this week now.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I have to.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll come back to you after we watch the movie and be like, guys.
Yeah, we'll get back to you and be like, we understand now.
Bloodshot.
Or we'll be like,
we'll be like, I'm so confused.
We're even more confused than before. I do want to scroll back. The next topic, the next thing I wanted to talk about, Muddles actually just brought up with a perfect segue for us, Muddles. Thank you so much. Muddles in the chat says, Square Enix reported a $45 million loss so far following the release of Avengers, the game. Not sure how they actually spent on it and such, though. Here's the thing. Avengers is a mess. This poor game is losing money.
Yep.
And so much so that they are giving away money in the game, which is weird. Not real money, but they're giving away like things that
cost money.
Yeah, that were supposed to cost money. I don't know, Muddles. Honestly, I don't know how they messed this up this bad.
I really couldn't tell you. I don't know. Like, somebody was sleeping on the team. Like, someone... Like, it was like that group project where you had that one person who literally didn't do any of the work, and instead of everyone else, you know, like, rallying together to fill that spot, they were just like, I don't care.
Lazy
like,
out in the chat just wrote, you can play as stretchy Kamala Harris, right? And...
Not quite.
Well, no, but her name is Kamala Khan.
I know.
And if they were to release Kamala Harris's that white power suit that she wore for her speech as an in-game outfit for Kamala Khan, I would die. That would be the best, funniest thing that they could do.
That would be great. That would make you go back to the game almost.
Well, yeah, because if you think about it, like, you know, Kamala Khan, if she were real, would be Kamala Harris's biggest fan. You know what I mean? Like, you know, they're both, you know,
for sure.
And so it would be. I actually would love that laser gunner if they gave her if they gave Kamala Khan an outfit inspired by Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
I would be. You know what? My brain is breaking because their first names are pronounced differently, and I'm losing which one is which now.
Yeah.
It's Kamala Khan and Kamala Harris. No. That's right. I think that's right.
No, the way you've been saying it that I've heard you is Kamala Khan.
Kamala Khan. And Kamala Harris. Yes, I think that's right.
I can't.
Their names are too similar, and saying them so many times back and forth, I just broke my own brain.
Yeah.
No, it's gross. Thank you for that. Dill Pickle in chat says, Avengers was so hyped up just to be disappointed. Here's the thing, Dill Pickle, I really liked it at first.
Yeah.
And, like, there's a video on the YouTube channel about the beta that I really loved. It. Like, I was having so much fun. And then it came out, and I spent about a week playing it, and I just lost... The replayability of those missions wasn't there. And that's all it is just doing the same missions over and over again. And so it took about, I don't know, like 3 days... And then I had kind of done everything I wanted to do. I'd kind of done all the different things with all the different characters. And I was like, I'm not going to grind up to level 150. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I don't care about the costumes. I want fun gameplay, and this isn't fun anymore. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to put this away. I own it. So, like, when Kate Bishop gets released in October, I will play Kate Bishop, right?
Yeah.
It is now November, 11th? Kate Bishop 10th. It's November 10th. Kate Bishop still hasn't been released. Yeah. So that thing that I was waiting for to bring me back into the game isn't going to happen till who knows when. Who knows if they're even going to bother, you know, if they're just losing money on this.
Yeah, the game's not doing well, and, you know, maybe they're just going to cut their losses now, not put any more work into it. Because, nobody's playing it.
But, like, it's wild, right? Because, like, we're supposed to get Kate Bishop, then we're supposed to get Clint Barton. Those are the two Hawkeyes. I don't know why you would do Hawkeye then Hawkeye, but whatever. Sure. I want them both because Kate Bishop. If you have never read a Kate Bishop comic, you should. She's so good. I cannot wait for her to be in the MCU because she will. She's a great freaking character, y'all. Then we're supposed to get Black Panther, and like the fact that Black Panther wasn't a day one character is so dumb. The fact that you released that game with no people of color, or I guess Kamala Khan, but the fact that you released with one person of color and you had the models done for Black Panther, but you didn't put it in the day one game.
Yeah.
I will never understand. I just won't.
Yeah.
Black Panther is arguably top 3 most popular superheroes right now.
Oh, for sure.
And you didn't, and you know, this is before Chadwick Boseman passed away. Like, regardless of that situation, the fact that you didn't put him in the game is insane to me, just from a business perspective.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe they thought they would make a bunch of money later on because people would want to.
But then have him be the first DLC character.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry. Why would you put Kate Bishop as your first DLC character? A character who only people who read comics know. Yeah. And not Black Panther.
Yeah. Yeah. The superhero that literally everybody knows right now.
The superhero that made $1 billion on the fact that people were so excited about it. Like, from a business perspective, it just is maddening to me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't get I don't get it.
Yeah, but yeah, as Muddles brought up, I don't know what's gonna happen with this game. I really don't.
Yeah, I honestly think they're gonna cut their losses and just like work on something else. Honestly, like there's no one's there, no one's playing it, no one's spending money. They're not gonna bother. Times are already tough.
Yeah.
Because of COVID, you know, like I have a feeling this game is going to die, but like in a year. You know what I mean? It's just gonna be done. Which sucks, you know, it sucks. I'm sure there's a lot of people who really wanted it to succeed, who put a lot of work into it, but unfortunately didn't happen for them.
I think that honestly the biggest mistake they made was making it so that the loot doesn't affect the look of your character. It is not fun to grind for loot and it not visually change anything. And, you know, I was actually reading a review of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. No spoilers for the game, but the skill tree in the game is there's a lot of this. They've changed the skill tree in the new Assassin's Creed game so that you don't actually get new abilities from your skill tree. You get new abilities from finding like tomes of knowledge in the world, and instead the skill tree upgrades your your next skill is like blunt weapon damage is up by +1, stuff like that.
Okay.
And the reviewer was like, I didn't give a crap about my skill tree because I don't care about numbers.
Yeah.
I want to unlock the skill that lets me do the cool thing.
Or have the different kind of... Yeah.
Giving me skills that are like, your arrow damage goes up by 0.75% it's such a... And I'm not saying that there's nobody who doesn't enjoy the kind of mathy number stuff. I totally get it. There are min-maxers out there for every game.
Yeah.
And if that's your kind of play style... I'm not trying to crap on you, I promise. It just isn't mine. I prefer, like, when I level up, I want to be able to shoot 3 arrows instead of 1. Do I know that it is impossible to shoot 3 arrows in, like, that kind of, like, triangle arc? Yes. Very aware. It makes no sense. Do I know that it is really dumb that there are guided arrows that you can control after you shoot them? Yeah, 100%. Makes no sense. Super dumb. Do I want to unlock it and kill the English, in the medieval English with them? Yes. Yes, I absolutely do. I absolutely do want to unlock that dumb ability that I know is actually impossible.
I love it.
Yeah, and so, you know, it's whenever...
Fire arrows.
To bring it back to Avengers, whenever these systems are based on, like, and now you can do some math to figure out how much damage you do now, and I'm like, no. Dear God, no.
Yeah, and that's not our thing. For some people, I'm sure it is, but I'm sure for a lot of people, that's not the appeal.
Yeah, I do wonder, you said, you know, they might just cut their losses. I wonder if legally they can.
I don't know.
I wonder if contractually they have to put out a certain amount of content.
I don't know.
And I wonder if that content is mostly done at this point. I also wonder, and like, look, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I do wonder if there is an aspect of this game that is hurt by the trying to release it with the console generation change. And if they weren't having to put it out on so many different platforms at the same time, because this is the problem with Cyberpunk 2077, right? Like, the reason they delayed to December is because they're like, look, the game is done. It just doesn't work on everything the right way yet. And we need to figure that out. I do wonder if Avengers didn't have to be on every single platform at the same time, if maybe this would have gone smoother.
Yeah, that's a good... That's a good point. It might have been a definitely different experience if that weren't the case, but I mean, they went into this full well knowing that would have to be the case, and so you know that's the responsibility that they have.
And who knows? You know, Penbrin was saying they may just do a content dump. They paid the artists to do the work. It might just be one last ditch effort to get players. Here's the thing: this game legitimately might be great in a year, and that's what's complicated about these games as services. Like Destiny 2 kind of died a little bit. At one point, and then Wizard of Time, thank you for subscribing.
Oh, dude.
Wizard, you are so pale. You're so pale.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, friend. Welcome in.
Appreciate that.
Do I have any mods here? Can I get a shout out for Wizard of Time in the chat, please? A wonderful streamer, building an incredible community over at his channel. Thank you for that, Wizard, and enjoy that A-Wing.
I got it.
Thank you, Clarus. Oh, and we got a Rebel.
You got a double shout out.
Muddles has played a bit of Valhalla by now. You like it. Some features are a tad simplified and controls are a little bit more clunky than I'd like, but nothing I can't work with. Loving the experience so far. Muddles, is it weird to play like a game that is so close to your like culture?
It's ancient history. It's definitely not like current culture.
No, I'm pretty sure Muddles is actually a Viking.
That would explain a lot.
I think he was frozen in ice, and they recently unfroze him.
That makes sense.
The caveman from Phil from the Future. Do you guys remember Phil of the Future? Was it Phil of the Future? Phil from the Future?
Phil of the Future.
Phil of the Future.
Yeah.
What a show. Y'all.
I never saw it.
You never saw Phil of the Future? Oh, I was so obsessed with that show.
I'm sorry. Our list grows ever longer.
Educated Clam says it's all about the man in suits. If they are wasting money, they will cut their losses now. That's just my business student talking. Clam, I think though that like there might be contractual obligations tied to the game, and that might not be an option. They legitimately might have to release a certain number of things at a certain number of times in order to fulfill their licensing agreement with Marvel.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, Marvel might make them put stuff out in order to protect the Marvel brand of it all. Wait, you're saying that people over there don't still throw axes in the name of Odin?
You know what? That's a question for Muddles.
That is a question for Muddles. Muddles woke up like, what year is it? Y'all, that's gonna be the end of the show today.
Yeah, that's our news for today.
This was a fun one.
Yeah.
I had a good time this morning.
Good.
Which is good because I woke up feeling very ill. So thank you all for showing up and making this a great show.
Yeah.
I do want... No, we need Weeb Wars. North, I'm worried about you, buddy. You're getting a little obsessed with the weebs there. Phantom 20, thank you for the follow. Oh my god.
Thank you so much for
The end of this show is getting so hype.
Oh, wow.
The audio listeners must be very confused.
They're like, what's happening?
And North is just trying to start a fight.
I know. Good thing Miller's not here.
Settle this in Smash. All right, y'all. We are going to say goodbye, but we have been talking about Assassin's Creed Valhalla a little bit here at the end of the show, which leads into the fact that tonight, 5 p.m. Eastern, I'm starting my Assassin's Creed Valhalla playthrough here on the channel, twitch.tv/nerdynightly. That will be a long, fun stream, y'all. This ain't going to be no 2-hour stream. This is going to be like probably longer than my wife wants it to be. But she can go to bed without me. We're also going to return tomorrow for another edition of the nightly morning show, 10 o'clock Eastern, here on this channel. If you missed any part of the show, you can catch it on our podcast feed or over on our YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please go give us a subscription over there.
Yeah.
It's weirdly blowing up.
I mean, it's doing all right. It's doing all right.
Yeah, apparently people really love to watch us play Pokemon cards. So we might start making more Pokemon card videos.
Yeah, those are our best videos for some reason.
Yeah.
Not quite sure about that. But whatever.
Anything else we need to plug?
No, I think that's it. I'm streaming, so it's Skyrim's birthday tomorrow.
It is Skyrim's birthday!
So I'll be streaming Skyrim tomorrow, noon Eastern. Gonna be a nice long one, and then Skyrim Saturday as well. I also I have a sponsored stream on Friday, so stick around, follow my social medias for more information on that.
Yes, we have a sponsored stream, and someone in that sponsored stream on Friday over on the Claris Cars channel will be getting a copy of the game.
That's
as well.
True. That's true. Also, North Trooper is apparently raiding me tomorrow, so that is fun. That is very exciting.
Oh my
Guys,
gosh.
The hype is going to be real.
Muddles says David will be tired in the morning show tomorrow, mumbling things about Thor and Norway. Muddles, you're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
Everyone, thank you so much for joining us. As always, my name's David Webb.
I'm Arielle Edwards.
Do something nerdy tonight.
Bye.
Bye-bye.